Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Stacy, and today I'm just going to do like a very quick little story time on what's going on with me right now. But it started back in like 2014. But before we get into this video, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Share this video with a friend, and make sure you have your post notifications on so you never miss an upload from me. Sorry for my appearance. This is like a 10:30 at night video that I am doing in hopes that it will help somebody that might have had this issue or might be thinking about getting this done. Yeah, so just forgive what I'm looking like and pajamas and all. But yeah, let's just get right back into this. Okay, so back in 2014, I had my nipples pierced, and this might be TMI for some people, so you can click off of this video if you don't want to hear about piercings and stuff like that, if it makes you squeamish. But back in 2014, I got my nipples pierced. I had them pierced for like 2 years. In 2016, I took them out on my own, and at first everything seemed like it was going okay. But then after like a week on the left side, it just literally, the whole, like, okay, when they pierce your nipples, they use this thing and pull your nipple out, pierce behind it, so you have a hole on one side and the other behind your nipple on the sides. And so the part that's like more inner towards where your cleavage would be, that's where mine opened up. And it happened, they put me on antibiotics, it closed back up. That was in 2016, but by the summer I ended up getting an abscess in my breast from it, and I had surgery. Like, I went into the emergency room, they kept me overnight, and the next morning they did surgery on me because it was infected. And so that was 2016. Everything seemed to be fine till like 2018. Just literally out of the blue, it just happened again, like the same hole. And it's literally like a perfect hole. I don't know if you ever seen anybody that has gauges, but like a really tiny one, how it makes a very crisp circle, like a complete circle. Mine was like that, and it just kept opening back up. But when it would open, it would be pus and everything coming out of it. And I could tell that it was getting infected. My breast would get hot, and like it was bad, like it would get super duper hot. And so I would like press on it and push it out, and it would be fine. I put a band-aid on it, blah blah blah. I literally did this probably 20 times because it kept on happening throughout 2018, 2019. So come 2020, we're doing Vlogmas, and so the day that New Year's Eve of 2021, we did a video where we were in Nashville downtown. We went out to eat and all that, walked around. I was suffering then. I just wasn't saying anything. But that night, like, my breast literally opened up again. But instead of it opening in that hole was closed. My actual breast opened up, like not where the piercing was, but a completely different site. It opened up to the point that first I had like a hard knot on my breast, like the size of a golf ball. And I was telling my twin sister about it, and you know, we were just talking back and forth or whatever, and I told her I was going to go and get it checked, but I didn't think that it would do that because that hole was like completely closed up. When we woke up that next morning, we were on our way back from Nashville home, and I looked down and there was literally blood all over my shirt. And so I told my husband, I was like, oh my God, we had just went to Starbucks. And at first I thought the heat was from me holding my coffee too close. But then when I looked down and I saw blood and my shirt was wet and all that, I just, in the car, I put my coffee down, looked at it, and it was just literally everywhere. So I started pressing on my breast, like pressing on it, because it was a whole nother spot, and it scared me because it's as if your skin right here just opened up out of the blue and just stuff just start coming out of it or whatever. And so I was terrified, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm pushing and pushing and pushing. It gets out, but then it turned within like 20 minutes. That spot where I was pushing turned like a brown, green, weird color. And so I'm like, I know something is up with this. I went to the emergency room and they put me on antibiotics. And so that was New Year's Day, 2021. Oh, excuse me. And so like right now I'm on antibiotics and pain medicine, so I'm kind of like out of it and itchy and just feeling so weird because I don't take any type of medicine ever. That was then. And then they put me on an antibiotic for 10 days. I had to take it twice a day for 10 days. And so it was 2 antibiotics combined, and I took those, and then like it started taking some of the pain away, but it was still there. And so like about 3 days after that, no, probably about a week after that happened, after I got off of the antibiotics, it happened again. And it has never just started coming back to back. It would be like months in between, but it literally came back. The knot, for one, never even left this time, and it came back like super duper fast. I went to the doctor again. They put me on antibiotics again. So then I don't know if you guys remember, like all over the United States, it was a huge storm, like a snowstorm, and Tennessee got the storm. We got snow. The same night we got that snow, I had to call 911 because we were snowed in. We have a really long driveway, and it was just loaded with snow. So I had to call 911, and they sent an ambulance to come and get me. And that night, these people were the rudest people I've ever encountered in my life at this hospital. They treated me so bad. Like, they sent me home with literally with blood all over my clothes, all over my skin, all over my stomach. They did not care at all. They didn't do anything. They were like, well, you've been in here with this problem before. And I'm like, yeah, and it's still a problem. And so I was just crying, and my husband found his way out of our driveway, and he came and picked me up. And the whole way home, I didn't know if I was crying more at what I was going through or how I was just treated, because the treatment was terrible. But they put me on antibiotics again for 10 days. I took those. 3 days later, this happened again. But it was so severe that I could not hardly walk. Like, I was walking on my toes because every step was just hurting so bad. And so then they told me that I needed to talk to a surgeon. So I go, and they set me up with a surgeon, and I went to see him, and he put me on an antibiotic for 3 weeks. This is me being basically on antibiotics since January, and now we're in April. And so he had me, April the 4th was when he put me on them. And then April the 28th, I had to have surgery. But all this time, I'm having to wear these long pads in my bra. Like, literally, I feel like I had a midget under my shirt because all the swelling and the pads and the padding and the bandages and like all the stuff I was enduring this whole time. It was just so much, and that's why I really hadn't been vlogging that much, like probably getting a vlog out twice a month for the last couple of months, because I've just been suffering like so much. And so I finally got they had my husband coming because of COVID. Like, he had to stay in there, couldn't leave. They were like, bring your iPads or whatever you want to bring you a snack, because he couldn't even go out of the room while I was in surgery, and then he had to stay there until we left. And so it was an in and out surgery. So I went at 7 in the morning, and I was out, I think, by noon. They were sending me home, but I had to wake up from like anesthesia, and they had to watch me for so long to make sure everything was okay. And so now we got home, my husband got my medicine, and everything has been going a lot better, but the pain is just ridiculous. Like, it is ridiculous how much pain I have been in, and at first, it's when I lifted the bandage, it was bleeding, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be going through this the rest of my life. I thought it was just gonna be happening over and over, but it was just part of, like, after the surgery and all the stitches and stuff they put in. But I couldn't take the bandage off for 4 days, and then they put what do you call it, they bandaged it up, and then they wrapped an entire thing around me, like really tight to hold. And I thought, like, okay, the medicine was working. I'm figuring out to myself, like, well, shoot, I'm feeling good. I can just take this off. And I took it off, and oh my gosh, it felt like I could just feel everything 10 times more. I didn't realize how being wrapped like that made a big difference. And so I can't drive for like 2 weeks. I'm on more antibiotics for 10 days. And then they put me on pain medicine, and it has just been so trying. Like now, this night before last, like on the second night after I had my surgery, the 30th, yeah, on the 30th, I started feeling a little bit better. So I took my hair down from how I had it, and then I did my hair today. I couldn't do it all in one day, but because I was just sitting, I was able to, you know, get it all done, trying to make myself feel a little bit better, because I feel like in the dumps big time. If you are thinking about having any type of body altering things done to your body, please make sure you do your research. I didn't even realize that so many people, this happens to them. Like, so many people have had their nipples pierced and have had abscess or something go wrong. It doesn't matter if you have big breasts, small breasts, huge breasts. Like, it doesn't matter. You can go on YouTube and see so many different people have videos on there talking about it. And like with me, everything was fine with the piercing. Everything was fine while I had it. I had them in 2 years. Like, but I did notice that every time, like how you get your ears pierced and they tell you to turn it, it never stopped. Like having, I would always have to clean around that area. And so now I'm just wondering, like, was it something wrong all along and I just didn't know? But I never had pain or anything from it. If you've ever had anything like this happen where you had to have like breast tissue removed or anything, they told me it would be like a dip in my breast for a while. But thank God, when I took off the first bandage, it's not. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. And then the way where they did the incision, even though it's a big incision, they did it right on the line. So once it heals, there won't even be a scar there. So I thank God for that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will be back with looking better and better content, something that's not such a downer. But take care, guys. Bye bye.